Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Johnny here at Perkins Motors in Colorado Springs, and thank you for joining me today as we review this beautiful 2026 Jeep Wrangler 392 MOAB Edition. This is one of the 12 for 12 Special Edition Wranglers that they're doing this year, and this is the first one for January. It's this beautiful military green exterior, kind of a tannish color, and it's the MOAB Edition. So I'm really excited to check it out. It's got the 392 in there, but let's take a peek. So as you can see here, this has the beautiful stance. You've got the MOAB badging here across the hood. You've got the hood hump here on the sport hood for the 392. And as you see here, it's got the full steel front bumper with the tow hooks. It's got the winch capable bumper here, LED lighting on the front, the 7-slot grille, of course. You have your front facing trail camera right here on the front. Coming around to the side here, you've got the fenders here with the lights on them, of course, and then you do have these little mud flaps here because you've got these really gigantic BF Goodrich all-terrains on here, which are really nice with the bead locker capable wheels. You'll see here that you've got the rock sliders across the side. You've got the keyless entry door handles for the front two here, and I just love the color on this. And as you can see from the window sticker on this one here, the price, even on the special edition, has gone down from where they used to be for the 392s. So these have made these a lot more affordable, while also being a special edition with this beautiful MOAB color and the color match top. And quick correction there, I said MOAB color. What I meant to say is this is the Willys 41 color with the MOAB sticker and the MOAB edition. I love how they do the color match top on this, though. It's really, really old school looking while also being new and aggressive. But let's take a look inside. Pardon the snow, we're here in Colorado and it's hard to get away from. But inside you've got this beautiful Napa leather interior with the red stitching on the seats. It just looks really sporty on the interior. You can even see the paint coming through on the doors. I like how you're reminded of that Willys 41 color while you sit inside the vehicle. I think that's pretty neat. And here you do have some niceties for the backseat passengers. Of course, it's still a Jeep, so not a ton, but you do have the 115 alternating current, 150 watt plug-in right there. You've also got your two USBs, and then you have your window controls and vents for the backseat passengers. But pretty standard in the back here, but really nice leather interior in this. It's kind of a mix between like the Rubicon X and the 392s, which I really like. Inside here, you've got the red stitching on the front seats, of course. You're going to have the Select Track all-wheel drive system with the 4-wheel drive auto in here. And then you've also got the 4-high part-time and 4-low, of course. And then, of course, with this being a Rubicon, you've got front and rear axle lockers. You've also got a sway bar disconnect. You've got Off-Road Plus. And then, of course, you have all your auxiliary inputs already wired up right there. So you can hook up different light bars and extensions and winches and everything else that you need the auxiliary for. On the steering wheel here, you've got a really cool red stitching steering wheel. You've got your automatic lights over here. You got a partially digital screen here, and then you do have your full digital Uconnect 5 screen, which we'll go over. But let's take a look under the hood and see what makes this different than the others. So underneath the hood here in the 392, you of course have the 392. It's a 6.4 liter Hemi motor. And as you can see here, very, very powerful, very nice look for it. They've got the 392 badging even on the side here. And then I love how they have this like hydro form. They call it the Hydro Guide, basically intercooler system. That's just going to help with the airflow coming up through that vent on top of the hood, and it blows up in through here and then into your air filter, which is just really cool. I like how they have all that designed. This is going to be paired with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it's, as I mentioned, it's really cold outside today, so I wanted to get us a cold start. I haven't started this today. It hasn't been started, and I do have the key here, so let's go ahead and do a remote start on this. So I took my wearable mic off so that way you could hear this a little bit better, so it's not just my voice, but we're going to go ahead and double tap the start button here. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's definitely not as aggressive as I thought it would be. Some of the other 392s are a little bit more aggressive on the cold start here, but you can hear by the exhaust here. Beautiful purr to this. Let's check it out inside. Something that's really neat about the 392s is its ability to have the performance exhaust. So you've got this button here that turns the performance exhaust on and off. So I don't know if you could tell from the mic that I'm wearing, but you've got a much more rumble, open valve style on the exhaust with that on. But if you're trying to keep the neighbors happy, then you can always just turn that off. And that gives you a much quieter sound there, which is nice. So now that we're sitting inside, I've got the performance exhaust off just for while we're showing inside the vehicle because it's pretty loud. But on the steering wheel here, like I mentioned earlier, it's got the red stitching, but you've got these really cool paddle shifters on both sides. You've got all the controls here for the infotainment system in the center. You've got your answer and hang up buttons and your speak button. Over here, you've got your adaptive cruise control and your regular cruise control settings. On the left side are your turn signals and brights, and then on the right side are your windshield wipers. You've got a heated steering wheel. It feels really nice. You've got heated front seats as well. You've got dual zone climate control, defrosters, of course. That's your performance exhaust button, traction control, hazard lights, parking sensors, hill descent, and then your screen off button. Down here, you've got some DC outlet. You've got a media plug here, which it looks like just has a couple USBs and an aux port. Then you do have your window controls, your window locks, your front and rear axle lockers, off-road plus sway bar disconnect, and then also your auxiliary inputs we talked about earlier. You got your standard Jeep gear shift here. They do not offer this in a manual, which I really wish they did. That'd be fun. But over here, you do have your 4-high auto with your 4-track system, which is really cool. And then you have your handbrake. You've got a little storage underneath here, standard stuff that comes with the Wrangler. So nothing super special about that on the interior. And then up here, you have your SOS and your airbag indicator and your assist button right here. You do have the black 3-piece hardtop. It is insulated with the little black panels all through the vehicle, which is pretty nice. But of course, with this, you can just pop these off, take the top off, and have a open air feel without having to unbolt anything unless you want to take off the rear part and the doors. Now I'm up here on the curb, so I turned on the front trail-facing camera, which is really cool. It's got these indicators that'll tell us which way we're turning, and it gives me a much better view than what I can see up over the hood. This allows me to see the end of the curb that I'm about to drive off. And what's really cool too is with all the snow and the dust and everything, these cameras are bound to get dirty, and there's a button right here that allows you to clean the front camera and the rear glass, and then obviously you'll end up with a little bit of watermarks, but that's better than having a bunch of dirt and grime on the lens. So you can spray it a few times and get it all nice and clean. Now on your Uconnect screen, you do have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. It's got a built-in navigation. And then of course you do have your off-road pages where you could see your articulation, your tilt, your location, altitude, all of that fun stuff. All right, so I've got the camera mounted here on the side passenger window, so you can also see my screen while I drive, because I want you guys to see this front-facing camera here, which is pretty nice. You can kind of get a visualization here, but I can use this camera as I descend off of the curb here. Now, obviously, this is made for MOAB. That's why it's the MOAB edition. So you can handle a lot more aggressive terrain than a little curb. But hey, if you like one of these for a mall crawler, that's still nice to have. You can pull up on the snow piles in the corner, you know. So I'm taking some speed bumps right here. That's pretty, handles them really nice, obviously. The suspension in this is designed for heavy-duty off-roading. But let's see how it performs in the snow here. The 392 is going to be a bit heavier than the regular Rubicons. And with 470 pounds of torque, 470 horsepower out of the 6.4 Hemi, it's going to handle this with no problem. So I've got it in 4-high auto here. I'm not even going to put it in part-time. So we'll see how it performs with the auto in the 4-track system. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, so right now I'm just driving normally. I don't have the performance exhaust on. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on because that's always fun. So I've got that exhaust on now. Ooh, that sounds so nice. Oh, this is fun. So I'm heading up a pretty slick, icy hill right here, heading directly towards the mountains here, and it's handling this hill just fine. I don't know how well you can hear it from the microphone that's on my chest here, but there's this beautiful rumble here that sits right below me with that performance exhaust on, and that's pretty nice. I'm not really a loud exhaust, loud motor type of guy, but I can see how people are. I love how that sounds climbing the hill here. It's getting a little bit extra RPM going up the hill, and it feels really nice having that road presence. The height on this is great. The ride's, it's a Wrangler, so obviously a lot of road noise. But the insulated panels on the top, they make a big difference. These little foam insulations that they do, whether or not you get them from the factory, that does make a difference, not having the sound reverberate through the cabin here. But you don't really get one of these for interior road quality. You get this for its off-road capability and its road presence, and this is definitely top of the line. Right now, the thermometer is reading 7 degrees outside. I haven't turned on the heat in here just because I don't want the loud vents getting in the way of hearing the vehicle or me being able to commentate on this. So if you see my breath a little bit, that's because it's 7 degrees outside right now. This whole drive so far, I've been going uphill, and it's a little cloudy today, but there is about a 3 or 4 mile visibility. and seeing these mountains directly ahead of me here. If you're familiar at all with Colorado Springs, it's gorgeous when everything's cold and frozen and the mountains are all frosty and covered in snow. It's definitely worth it. And this is also the test drive route we take here at Perkins Motors. So if you're ever wanting to come and drive one of these, see how they feel, definitely come and check it out. This is the place to try out a Jeep for sure. That acceleration is really nice, and the weight of this in the snow is a huge difference compared to the Wrangler I used to have. I had a 2017 Wrangler Rubicon, but that just had the Pentastar. So having this extra weight here for snow driving and ice driving is really nice. And then having that 470 pounds of torque and power, I mean, you're not struggling to get enough power to get out of any situation. All right, I have a bit of a straightaway here. There's nobody behind me. There's nobody in front of me, and the roads are a bit slick, but I am going to give it some. I'm going about 20 right now. I'm not doing it from a dead stop because it's snowy, but I am going to give it some beans here. Oh, wow, that feels nice. And, oh, it's gripping great. I'm driving directly on ice here and went up to about 55 right there. I wasn't fully gunned. I was a little nervous to do so. This is a lot of power, and we're in the snow. And frankly, this isn't my car, so I don't want to be the one responsible for damage. But wow, that was very fun. That was a very nice acceleration there, and the weight on this. I mean, that four high. I just have it in four high auto, so it's normally in rear wheel drive, but this just keeps it to where it kind of acts like an all-wheel drive system and gives me the power as I need it. And that's really nice because it transferred that power without me having to think about it. And I noticed right when the back end started to slip, added that front end power, and boom, all that weight on the front end. I gripped really well. Now, if you've watched some of my other review videos, you'll know this portion of the test drive here. This is where I have two switchback turns. It was about a 2 to a 5% grade to going downhill, and they recommend we take these turns at about 20 miles an hour in normal dry conditions. Now, right now, it's very snowy outside. There's a lot of ice and snow on the road, but they've done a pretty good job of sanding this, so I'm not too worried. But instead of using the brakes on this vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and shift it over into manual mode using the gear shifter right here. And you can either shift through the gears using the gear shift or through using the pedals here. But I've got us in second gear, not hitting anything, going about a 3% grade, and it's only got me going about 10 miles an hour. So I'm going to bump it up to third gear and let it roll a little until it catches us up. And now it's got me going about 18. And you can hear that exhaust kicking in as it's using the motor to slow us down. And I'm taking these turns nice and slow here. But this first turn right here is a full switchback going about 150 degrees. You end up almost facing the same direction that you started at by the end of the turn here. And then this one here is basically a 180 degree turn switchback. You can see the hill along the side here. But right now I'm still just floating in third gear. I'm going to bump us down to second. And it handled that with ease. Going back into drive here, I'm going to give it a little bit of gas as we go downhill here. This thing's a blast to drive. Oh my gosh, this is fun. I don't often get to drive the 392s. And frankly, beforehand, before the 2026s, these 392s were, in the 90s, the low $100,000 price range. And now, even with this being a special edition with the MOAB 12 for 12, this is only MSRP in the 80s. So they've discounted these quite a bit MSRP wise, and we're really excited to see what type of specials they run. We're about to turn on to Highway 24 right here, and I'm going to go ahead and accelerate up. So I'm going to take in this turn here, and then I'm going to go ahead and get up to about 60. Wow, that's fun. That's a whole lot of fun. I gave it the beans there, and yeah, that was a blast. With roads being a little bit slick, this highway's not so bad today. It hasn't snowed much overnight, but this highway here is pretty is not super slick. So I was confident doing that without having to worry about any slip it or slide it, and that handled that phenomenally well. That's just a lot of fun. I'll definitely get in trouble riding something like this. This is very stable at 60 miles an hour. I was just cruising down the highway here, and it's handling that just fine. There's not a lot of correction I'm having to do. It is a pretty windy day as well, and then with slick roads. So I feel very confident driving this. I really like the weight of this, and just having this MOAB look and feel, the Willys 41 color, these comfy heated leather seats, heated steering wheel. This is off-road luxury right here for sure. If you've ever been to Motor City here in Colorado Springs, this turn right here onto Motor City Drive, coming from 8th Street, can be a little bit of a tricky turn, especially in the snow like this. You've got traffic coming usually a little faster than they're supposed to down this hill, and then you're also having to take a turn while stopped on an incline and then go up an incline after the turn. So it's all incline uphill. And in the snow, when it's slick, that can be a little tough. I just talked through that turn here. This handled that just fine. Really big tires on here, nice weight. Even with the slick roads and dangerous drivers around, this has given me a very confident feel on the ice and snow here. I'm very impressed for the Wranglers, because usually with the lighter Wranglers, they don't do too well because they're so light, like I've mentioned before. But this extra weight you have with this 6'4" Hemi in here is very nice. So we're pulling back into Perkins Motors here, and normally, if you've seen my other videos, we park under the awning here. But this time I'm going to avoid the awning because we had this one on the pad. I'm going to park this one up back on the curb, so we will have that little curb climb here. So once I get it all lined up here, we just get a little climb up there. Very nice. That was a very fun drive. I gotta say, this is a different feel. The Wrangler 392s, it's not a Jeep Wrangler. This is a 392. Lot heavier, lot more power, lot more road presence. The lift on this is nice. I love the color. The interior niceties are like the Rubicon X, but you get it all with this special edition 12 for 12. Let's take one more look outside, and then we'll check it out. So there it is, folks. That, once again, is the MOAB Edition 392, part of the 12 for 12 program that Jeep is doing all year for 2026. We've got this one here on the lot right now. It is available. If you want to come and test drive it, see if the 392 is the right option for you, and see if you like the MOAB feel. If not, up next month, we have the white edition, and I'll give you some more details on that once we have it. And I'm very excited to see what that looks like. So stay in touch. If you guys want to come and test drive one of these or another Jeep product, Ram, Chrysler, Fiat, or one of our used vehicles, check us out online at perkinsmotors.com and make sure to ask for Jonny. We'll see you then.